For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason Grant, and I started coming to church here back in December. Wanted to do the right dad thing, wanted to like impress my kids, whatever. And so I came, I didn't come, I came, I didn't come. And then one day I was at work, and this guy that I work with, who's just so down on life, and he's a full-blown atheist and just hates everything about life, made a comment to me, and I said, I could say something to you, but you know what, I just don't need to. And my boss jokingly said to me, oh, so you're trying to be the change that you'd like to see in the world. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. The change I'd like to see in the world. So I thought, if I do that, I'll be, a lot happier person and stuff. And then my birthday rolls around, I turn 34, and I'm like looking at my life, and I'm going, I'm kind of halfway doing this church thing, and I'm not really getting it. My life is getting better, but it's still chaotic. And, when I pray, life's good, and when I don't, it's not. So I made up my mind for my birthday I was going to devote my life to Jesus Christ and being the best dad I could be, and everything would just fall in place after that. And over the last 2 weeks, there's just been so much going on. I've got a daughter who I had with a lady who is still married to somebody else, and I had no rights to this child for months and months and months. And finally the rights started coming about, and she got scared because I want custody of this child because I don't want her in the situation she's in. And just the other day I get a restraining order saying what a bad dad I am, and I have I can't go anywhere near this child and everything else, and I was just totally distraught, and I was just like, what do I do, and it's like I'm at work, and I got the phone call about the restraining order while I was camping with my kids at the Grand Canyon, The guy calls me up and he says, I got this restraining order for you. I'm like, no big deal, I'll be at work Tuesday morning, I don't have, I ain't got nothing to hide from. I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm going to church, I'm on probation for 6 felonies, but I'm in full compliance, And so I'm like, no big deal. So I call the guy up. I say, hey, I'm at work. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where my next flight's coming from. I want to be able to just handle this stuff, And I start reading through this, and it's all just lies. And then at the very bottom, it says, no contact with Chaslyn Marie Grant. And I'm just like, what is this all about, And I was so distraught. I was so down. I just didn't know what to do. And my first reaction was to call Ramon. But then I thought about it, and it's like, rely on no man. And I just started praying. And when I went to court to respond to this restraining order, I just asked God to guide my hands because I didn't want to get into a mud-flinging competition. That's not what I care about my child, and I pray for her mom. I closed my eyes and I prayed and I asked God to guide my fingers as I typed out this thing requesting a hearing. And what I came up with is that I'm doing the best I can to preserve the rights of myself and my child, and I want my child to have both parents in her life. And I was like, wow, God, that's pretty cool. Right on. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that pretty much sums it up. That's a good thing, And so then I go, well, I need to find out what's going on with this case, because I want to see my child. I haven't seen my child in a month. And I go to the first window and they tell me nothing's going on with it. You need to push it forward. I go, what do you mean nothing's going on with it? I just filed all the papers. I've done this. I did that. I paid $260. There's one of my kids calling me right now. Anyways, I'm like, I've done everything I need to do. What's going on? And they're like, well, we're not lawyers. We can't tell you. And I'm like, God, don't let me blow up. Don't let me throw away everything that I've been doing. So I go to the next window, and I'm just like, help me, God, help me, And they tell me the same thing. We're not lawyers. We can't help you, but you need to move your case along. How do I do that? We're not lawyers. We can't tell you. So then I look, and I see Family Lawyer Assistance Program. And I thought, you know what? I got an hour and a half on the parking meter. I'll check it out. Long story short, I tell them what's going on. They say, you need a lawyer. I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, we're going to give you one for free. I'm like, thank you, God. And I'm sitting here and I'm telling this lady about all this stuff that's going on, And it's like, I've been so distraught because it's like I'm doing everything I can. I'm praying. I'm trying to be a dad. I'm buying my kid shoes. And when I took her home, this lady throws them out in the middle of the street. It's like, it's just, all these lies and stuff. And I'm telling her, she's like, you're exactly right. And she's like, we'll have you an appointment within a week, right? So I'm like, thank you. And she's like, you're doing all the right things. Just keep doing what you're doing. And it was like I stood up and I could feel God raining on me. And I wept straight up, And I'm 6 foot, 210 pounds, I'm a strong, tough dude. And you know what? God's love reduces me to tears. The love of my children reduces me to tears, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm on the top of the world, right? Come home to my apartment to find 4 people that I don't even know in my apartment there to watch my roommate's kid. My roommate's not even there. I'm going, this is not right. Now he's got a stripper that's going to babysit this child in my house. I buy food for my kid, to buy him lunch, it's gone. So I'm like, God, help me, and it's like, I'm struggling between turn the other cheek and stand up and fight. I don't know what to do, but I know that I can't stay in that situation, so I'm praying. And so we start looking for an apartment. And they say, well, we can't. I found the perfect apartment right there. It's like a block and a half away. My son goes to school here at American Christian Academy. And it's been a struggle because he's got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to somebody else's house to pedal himself to school at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, well, I need a place closer to here. And they're like, well, we won't rent to you because you're a felon. And I'm like, I wouldn't stop there. I'm like, I got letters from my pastors. I got letters from my boss. I got letters from my ex-wife. Work with me. And they're like, well, you're going to have to pay a $50 application fee. And I'm like, I can't pay a $50 application fee because all the money I spend on my children taking care of them. So I go to the office anyway, and they go, you know what, we'll run your credit for free. Long story short, I'm sitting there praying. I'm like, God, please, 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 please. She comes back and she says, we'll give you the apartment. And I'm just like, it's like God is just blessing me continually. I'm at probation today talking to my probation officer, and he's telling me, you need to slow down. You're spreading yourself too thin. I said, no. I screwed my life up. God has helped me get it straight. Every time I have a victory, it makes me that much stronger. And I'm not backing down. I'm not giving up the fight. And when I got home, I was getting ready for church. And it was funny because I picked up this thing that I got from Devin. And Isaiah 40:31 says, but those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. God is great.